Blitz Coaches Corner edition. Today we have a real special guest. All you guys know him by the cowboy hat and the cowboy boots. Mr. Aaron Gasu of GOAT Training. Thank you for coming in, Coach.
For sure. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah. How did you get started in this recruiting side of football?
Man, it's a long journey.
Take us back. Take us back.
How'd you get started in football in general?
Yeah, tell us.
I know that's a story too.
Start when you started playing.
Man, started playing football to begin with is I was a young kid and my dad came home and he had one of those mouthpieces and he just was like, "Hey, go boil water." I was just a little kid and I was like, "All right." So I went to go boil water. And then he brought me in the kitchen with the mouthpiece. He put it in the boiling water, took it out, I was like, "Put it in your mouth." And I was like, "All right." Put it in my mouth, burned the mess out of my tongue, and molded that rubber mouthpiece, a blue mouthpiece, to my teeth. And he was like, "Do you like it?" And I was like, "It's okay, yeah." He was like, "Do you want to play football?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Come with me." So we walked downstairs to the front yard, and he popped the trunk of our old car, and he had football pads in there and a helmet and everything. And he was like, "I signed you up for football today."
Wow.
And I was a little young kid. I was like 8 or 9.
Wow.
And then, put everything on, and we were running drills in the front yard
right away.
And
there was no negotiation if you wanted to play or not, right?
Hey,
you were already
in
signed
the
up.
Polynesian culture, you play or you don't. Regardless, you're going to play. there's no arguing, you know?
Right.
And so that's kind of how the journey started, and then went through, the levels of progression of playing football, and then eventually ended up here in the desert and learning the game and learning to love the game on a different level as far as becoming a coach.
Right.
And then I started with the Little Arabs, the Coachella program, living in Coachella and wanting to build Coachella. And then with that for a few years, and then got more into development and realizing how important development is from the young age. Because like if I would have had development at a younger age, I feel like I could have done better. And a lot of kids that play in the leagues on Saturdays and Sundays, professionally through college, they started having the right development at a young age. And so we can't skip that. So that's what made me want to switch focus from coaching groups to small groups development to build the best athlete possible and then putting them out. And then that's kind of where we are now, is advocating for the athletes and building them up and developing them.
So what age, though, do you think is too young to start getting looked at? Is there an age? Is it sophomore?
I would say, what I tell the parents that I work with and kids and everybody that asks me questions, I think as you go into football, you could play any level of football until you're about 10 or 11 years old. That's like where you're learning to love the game. You're building the love for the game. And that's where you decide, do I want to do this or not? When you're 12 and 13, that's when you decide, am I really locked in? Is this what I want to do for life? If so, this is where you start to take things more serious. This is where you start to miss birthday parties. This is where you start to get extra work, with a developmental coach. So then by the time you hit freshman year, you're ready to suit up to play varsity. It's not far-fetched anymore to play varsity as a freshman.
It used to be unheard of.
It used to be unheard of. You never did. You always went to freshman ball or maybe JV. If you were that guy, you played JV. And then if your team made playoffs, they'd let you suit up, for varsity in the playoffs, but you never played. But nowadays, with the way that athletes are developed, it's not far-fetched to start. I mean, I have a handful of athletes that I work with that start and were impact makers on varsity immediately as a freshman. So it's possible.
You got to start early, though. Like
you have to start early. So I would say anything from 10 and under is just about finding the love.
Let them run around a little bit.
And just learning what position you're good at, what position did God bless you with. Because I wasn't born to be a running back. You look at my size. You see me, you don't think running back, And so you find out where you fit in the game and like how much do you love the game. And then as you get into that 12, 13, and 14, that's when you decide how serious you're going to take it. And then that's when you dial in.
And your track record kind of speaks for itself. I mean, we'll kind of go over some of the names that you've already worked with and already kind of gotten to the next level. But the thing I'm kind of discovering with this, like recruiting and starting to look at college for some of these players, all that game is connections, right? You got to have the proper connections, the proper coaches, and then you also have to know who's a fit where and who's going to fit in here. So where are some of your connections coming from? I know you played at a high level, so you want to speak to where your connections kind of came from?
Honestly, the main, We're just gonna be like, I don't know, it's far fetched, but the main connection, to be honest, is being Polynesian, is being Samoan.
Mm,
As a Polynesian, you have other guys that have come before you that are in the game before you,
right.
at different levels, from NFL to college to high school, and they are there and they've built the game. They've been in there for 25 plus years, and when they see somebody like them that is younger, they're gonna
Mhm.
do what they can to help those. Shout out to Chris Talamaivao. He runs Giant Skills, which is one of the biggest, or if not the biggest, lineman program in the nation. They
Mm,
travel. They've been doing this for years. Majority of the guys that are in the NFL Polynesian have come through their
okay.
program. He's like an uncle to me, and he's the one that kind of helped me, put me on game, and we had a good conversation about me wanting to start this program as far as RCV, but also GOAT. And that was just with him, with the help from Chris and the help of my wife. That's kind of where we molded things and created our vision of putting athletes in the best position possible to find success,
Right.
whatever that means for them. So with the college, man, we have friendships and connections from USC down to Texas, down to all of California, Sacramento, Cal, and Idaho State, Idaho, Boise, Utah, Utah Tech, Utah State, BYU, and we got people wherever.
Right.
It's just a phone call. Just let them know, hey, I got a guy that I think you should take a look at, and let them do what they got to do. And
Right.
if they fit the mold that they're looking for, then that's home. Like what you said just a minute ago about every kid, finding a home. That's true. Every college has a mold and what they're looking for. You think about SEC schools, having to be 6'5", 6'6", six
Mhm.
eight, to fit their mold. I want linemen to be.
Right.
I work on linemen. I
Yeah.
don't really mess with a lot of the
Skill
smaller
guys.
positions.
The skinny guy we don't mess
We're
with,
working
right?
on it. I'll,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
get to them,
Yeah.
but my first love is going to be the linemen. So I'm going
Right.
to deal with the trenches first. I'm going to
Okay.
make sure the trenches are taken care of. But like that's their mold. They're looking for guys that are that size. But then you have the flip. You can go to Sacramento State. You can go to Fresno. You can go to Utah State, and you don't have to be 6'6". You don't have to be 6'8". You could be
Yeah.
6'2", 6'3", and play there.
Mhm.
And then they have smaller schools below that. You can go to Snow. You can go to some smaller schools and play there because they don't really require the height. And so there's just about finding the right mold. Um, and recently we talked with a couple kids about going on your official visits and seeing what feels like home.
Right.
Don't go chasing the logo, because the logo is not always going to be there for you.
Mhm.
It's like, what can the program offer you? What does a logo offer you? Is very different than how you feel at every program. I had a kid who decided on certain schools because that's where he felt at home, compared to wanting the best position possible.
Right.
And it's more important to find the right home and the right fit for you than it is to chase the right logo.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there anything that's like overlooked when people are considering schools, like parents? Is there?
um, I would say you can't always go off of what the recruiters and the coaches are going to tell you,
Mhm.
because realistically, they're, I don't want this to sound wrong, but they're like car salesmen.
There's yeah, I
Sure,
was
They
just gonna say
sure.
a
want to
Yeah,
salesman,
sell.
right? Yeah.
They want to
yeah,
sell their school.
Mhm.
yeah,
They're looking for the best kids possible, so they're going to tell you as an athlete, and they're going to tell you as a parent everything that you want to hear. And
mhm,
so, what I mean by finding the way and feeling at home is interacting with other staff, interacting with other
gotcha,
players,
yeah,
interacting with the community in that area, and how they treat you and how they interact with you, because they're going to put on their best show
yeah,
because they want you to be there. But when they're away and the cameras are turned off, like, how do you feel? How do they cater to you? And like, do you feel home? Do you feel comfortable? Then that's more than likely where you want to go, compared to once the cameras turn off and then they walk away and that's it. Then you and your parents are standing in the middle of a weight room. Like, now what?
yeah,
Right.
And you can feel that difference.
yeah. So what's the process though between first contact and signing day? Is there, walk us through what happens first?
Yeah. Obviously, the most important thing is the initial contact and the
Mhm,
initial, conversation. And then I would say after that is follow up is just as important. Because sometimes coaches have a lot on their plate, especially if you meet them at a camp or you meet them at
mhm,
some kind of showcase or clinic. They've already talked to 100 plus athletes,
Yeah.
yeah,
and then after that they talk to their coach friends that they haven't seen in a while. Then they go home, to their, their hotel or to wherever. They got to answer emails, they got to answer phone calls. Then they talk to their personal family,
Mhm.
and then by then they forgot about the 20
Yeah.
second conversation that you had with them earlier in the
Right.
day. So it's very important. I talk with the athletes the next day, 2 days later, like give them time to decompress, reach out to the coach, and like send them the picture that you two took together. And be like,
Mm,
hey, so and so, it was nice to meet you. I appreciate you taking the time to conversate with me. Here's my film again. Here's some things, like, please let me know what you think I could work on, or what you like, or whatever the case is, and continue that dialogue, and then
Mhm.
continue. And if the coach is really truly interested in you, they will create that personal dialogue. They'll start asking you about different things, and they'll work, regular conversation into business conversation.
Gotcha.
mm,
And then if they don't have that, then they're not actively recruiting you. And like
Okay.
that's one of the differences. And like a lot of kids think that coaches are recruiting them or whatever because, like, you got followed by certain coaches or certain things. It doesn't necessarily mean you're being recruited. That just means you're on their board.
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you ever go to colleges and they have their boards up and they have names written down of what schools they go to, that means like they're looking at you and they're just waiting for you to give them a reason to take you off. With the way that NIL has come into
Yeah.
play, there's money involved. It's become a business, and so you have to think of it as a vending machine.
Yeah.
Like there's you, and then there's 40 kids behind you in the same position who are the same height, same weight, same stats, just as you. They're the best kid at their high school, just like you.
Hmm.
And so if you make any mistake, whether it be social media, whether it be grades, GPA, whether it be acting dumb on the field, on the sideline, there's no reason for them to fight for you because there's another kid just like you behind you. So they just press the next button on the
Next
vending
man up.
machine. You fall down, the next one comes in. They
Wow.
just take your name off the board and they pick somebody else up on the board.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is
it's
it,
happens. Like I personally
It's
have watched it happen. Literally last month, we had a kid who really wanted to go. I don't want to out the school. I don't know if you want to edit this out, but they wanted to
yeah.
go to San Diego State, and
uh-huh.
San Diego State was like, "Nah, we're cool. We're cool. We got what we need." Then that kid flipped his commitment and he decommitted from San Diego State and he took another school, and San Diego he ended up going to UCLA. And so San Diego State reached out to me and reached out to this kid and was like, "Hey, we want this kid now." And the kid was like, he called me. He was like, "What do you think about it?" And I was like, "You tell me what your first thoughts are." And he's like, "I don't want to be nobody's second choice. Like, I want them
mm,
to want me."
right.
And I was like, "Okay, tell them that." And he was like,
Hmm.
"Are you sure?" And I was like, "No, you be honest. Like, they were honest with you. They told you they didn't want you. They had what they needed. Now what they needed didn't want them anymore. So now they want you. Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, they need
Yeah.
to make sure that you're their priority. And if that's the case, then like, who's to say you get to the field, for practice for fall camp, and they're like put you on the side because you're the last case scenario.
Yeah.
And so like you have to go where you're wanted. Like that quote from was a 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson. He said, "Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated."
Hmm.
And
Yep.
that's a good quote to live by.
Yeah.
So yeah, so to answer your question originally, if the coaches are actively recruiting you, they will be actively reaching out to you as an
Yeah.
individual.
Yeah.
They won't go the long way and talk to the coaches, to talk to your parents, to talk to you. They
Right.
will come to you directly
Directly.
through social media or through your phone number. So
Okay.
that's the
All
good
right.
way to tell if you're being actively recruited by any college.
Good little nuggets there of
Yeah.
advice, people. If you think you're getting recruited, you better talk to Coach
Well,
Gasu over
a
here. He'll
lot of
give you the
people,
real
yeah, a
deal.
lot of people never been recruited,
It's
Yeah.
so
it's it's a
you
business
hear
though.
No,
about it, but
facts.
you don't know the
There's,
process
this is
behind
this
it.
is free game right here. There's three main ways that you can get recruited. Whether they're right or wrong, I don't make the rules, but
Right.
there's three ways.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, number one, payment. You pay the right people. There's a right friendship or whatever connection. You pay them, a couple $1,000s, they'll give you an offer. Whether that offer holds any weight
Right.
further on
That's
down
the
the road,
thing though, right? To get
that's the
somebody
thing.
better, if you
That's
can't
it.
play, does that offer
Yes,
stand up,
exactly.
right?
So sometimes it happens to where you banked your whole life on that payment offer, and when it comes down to the road, you don't play better than that kid. They're gonna take that kid, and
Hmm.
they're just gonna tell you, "Oh, we don't see what we thought we saw,"
Right.
and that's it. And sometimes you lose that offer,
And that money's gone
and
Mm.
that
too,
money's
right?
gone.
No money
Right. No
back.
refund
No
on that.
refund.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but a lot of the times it's used as a baiting offer.
I was
Right.
just gonna say that.
So if you
Yeah,
pay, certain school, certain friend to throw you an offer, and let's say it's, Mountain West offer or a Mac offer or whatever, it's, a smaller, conference offer, schools within that conference are going to say, well, if that school thought it was good enough, if he was good enough for an offer, why are we not?
yeah.
We're in the same conference.
Right.
So then they're going to come to you, and
Hmm.
then they might throw you a real offer. So then that baited you into getting real offers when
So there is some
sometimes
strategy there.
there's a strategy to it, but
Yeah,
sometimes it doesn't work out.
yeah,
Sometimes it
Right.
doesn't pay off. But
yeah,
that's the first way. The second way is you're just certified, like you are who you say you are, and you get naturally noticed by being at the right camps, being at the right competitions, showcases, and events like that, to where they naturally, organically find you and see you and want you. And then the third way is through connections, and that's kind of where
Mm,
we're coming through,
right.
is through connections, is where we have direct contact to multiple coaches at multiple levels, from the SEC to junior college and everything in between.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's where, like, you come and take this readiness test, and we tell you where we determine where you fit in the mold, and then we reach out to those schools. So we don't waste your time, we don't waste
Right.
my time, I don't waste coach's time, because I have a strict formula that you have to follow. And
yeah,
if you do those things, you will get these results.
Okay.
yeah,
And like if you don't do these things, then I don't waste my time reaching out to certain people because, excuse me, you don't have the grades. Why would I waste my time reaching out to a school who has a
yeah,
2.8 requirement?
Right.
So if I know you don't reach 2.8, I'm not going to call that coach, no matter
Right.
how good you are.
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's some lady, some guy behind the computer screen, fact checking your GPA, fact checking your transcripts. And you could be a 5-star athlete. If you don't have that, you don't play.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste yours nor your parents' time, money to do this if you're not doing what's required on the back end.
Have you had to say no to some people?
Tons,
Yeah.
tons.
No.
And it all started because I helped one athlete. I'm not going to say any names out
Sure,
here.
sure.
After when we're off air, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But I had one athlete that we did a lot of work for, and as soon as things were going good, they hit me back up randomly, and I thought they were calling to say we finalized your another offer. It's coming in, but they called to say that, have you checked his GPA? And I was like, no. I just assumed that as the coaches
Mm.
sent it to me that it was good,
Mhm.
but he had a 1.9, and
Oh,
I'm like, well,
can't do much with that, right?
there's not much I can argue. So you're
Hands are
gonna have to
tied.
go. You're gonna have to go the other route. You're gonna have to go the long way.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
that was on the coaches. I put that on the coaches more than I put that on the kid,
Mhm.
because the coaches
Should have
were
known.
fighting for the kid to bring him to get help, and I did what I needed to do, and I just assumed that the coach was doing their due diligence, to check the grades before they brought him. So when they came to me, I just assumed that everything was good. So when that happened, I already knew automatically from now on, when you come to my program, these are the things that I check
Mhm.
before we even start. And if you meet the standards and you meet the requirements that I have, then we'll move on.
Okay.
Yeah. That's smart.
So you're not wasting anybody's time or money on
I
that,
hate I hate
right?
wasting time. Time is very valuable.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have my own things going on. I have my own two kids and
Mm.
my wife at home. So like being away from them, it costs time. And time's one of those things that you can't get back. And so I'm not gonna waste my time on doing things if you're not doing your part. Just like you guys are busy. I don't want to waste your time. Parents are busy.
Right.
I don't want to waste their time, money, You have to do a lot of work to get some money.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting nobody's time or money if the athlete doesn't want it as bad as they say they do.
Right. And taking
Yeah.
it back a little bit, when I first heard about you, it was the GOAT training, and you kind of been the dude that's really helped a lot of these big guys get the shine and get the offers. Kind of speak to what you were doing with GOAT and how you were like, coming down here and kind of evaluating what was needed with
Yeah.
that service.
So I say we, but I still do run the GOAT program.
Hmm.
That still operates, as normal. We do private training, group training, and stuff like that. Obviously right now we're taking a break because it's football,
Yeah, season's
Mhm.
so
here,
everybody's
right?
going to be going to their school programs instead of my program, which is which we look forward to, because the kids that worked out and the kids that trained with me throughout the off season, they got better
Mhm.
physically, mentally, spiritually. They leveled up. So as they go to their program, they become the new bar, the
Right.
new standard.
Mhm.
The standard bar was here when they left, but when they go to their new program, they raise the standard and they become the standard. and so they're plug and play. In any program they go to, they become the best player on the team, and they force the team to build, to grow,
Mhm.
to be
Right.
on their level.
And can you I know we don't wanna mention any names, but, I mean, can you speak to some of your success story? I know who they are, but you have had a lot Goat's had a lot of success stories in the last couple of years of guys that, maybe nobody had heard of until you started working with them,
Yeah,
and then, boom, they have a couple offers, and people are like, "Well, who are these guys?" So, you
Mhm.
I
wanna
mean,
speak to some of that
the
success?
I mean, the one that's going around right now, you know, we'll say his name. I'll tell his name. It is what it is. We have a good relationship. Me and Jacob Van.
Dick Van, yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Good kid, man. Great
is
kid. That's
Yeah.
my
a big
guy.
shout
That's
out to
my
Jacob
guy.
Van and the X out there,
Yeah, that's
man.
my guy, man.
So I met Jacob 2 months ago. I met him at the Coachella Showcase, that event that we hosted. I met him there, and I saw him competing and stretching. Actually, not even say competing first. I saw him in the stretch line
Warming
first,
up, you're like,
and
"Hey,
I was like,
big dude, man."
he sticks out. Where's that kid been? So
Right.
I walked over to him and I, what's your name? Talked to him. And the first thing I noticed was he had a pair of the Adidas Polynesian Bowl that's in Hawaii cleats on.
Ah,
And I was like, those are only given out, as I know, those are only given out to the athletes who participate and play in those kind of events. And he had a pair on. So that was the first thing that stuck out. Then I saw his physical size and I was like, I gotta go talk to that kid.
mhm.
So then I went to Jacob and talked to him. And then we went through the camp and I saw how he worked and I liked the way that he worked. He has a solid work ethic. He's strong, physically and but also mentally. I don't know if you know his story, but he's been through a lot.
Yeah.
Injuries and different things like that, and being having to sit out for certain parts of the season. So mentally, he's a strong kid. And when the camp was over, I told him, I was like, we need to be locked in. You need to tap in with me, text me. Let's start this dialogue and let's see what we can do. And afterwards, we talked a little bit, and as camp season approached, I was like, all right, let's talk. What are your goals? And he wanted to play college football, and I said, all right, give me your dream schools, but let's be realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not be far fetched.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not good to dream and have hopes,
Yeah.
but like if you're gonna be realistic and wanting to play on Saturdays, you need to be realistic with yourself.
Right.
You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So I was like, let's be realistic. Give me your list of schools. Where would you want to see yourself? And he had some schools on there, and he named a couple that I knew personally. I know people at those schools, and so in my head, I was like, all right, we're good.
Right.
We can work with this. And so we went and took him on a little tour. We went to UNLV, to a camp out there that was hosted. And we had 20, 30, maybe 40 um, college coaches there on site. And he was there in front of them, went face to face with a lot of the coaches. I got to meet them, I got to talk to them. And then went to San Diego, and it was the same thing at San Diego State. He competed and worked with coaches there. And one of my good friends, is down there. Well, not down there, he's up there at Sacramento State. And they were like, it's going to happen today. He just has to win a rep. He just has to win a live rep.
One
Dang,
rep.
And
okay.
so the defensive
That's
coordinator
exciting.
came over there to where he was at. And Jacob did what Jacob needed to do, what
Mhm.
Jacob always does. And he's going to compete. And he won his 2 reps, back to back. So when that was over, the defensive coordinator pulled him to the side and gave him the offer, the
Wow.
official offer.
Awesome.
And
Wow.
then from there, it kind of just went, and more coaches were really able to see, the caliber of athlete that Jacob is. And so that's when, New Mexico had come through, Idaho State had come through, and different schools had come through. And then he went to the Redlands camp, and one of my guys, shout out to Manaya, he was over there at the Fresno. I mean, he's from Fresno. He was at Fresno State, but he was down at the Redlands camp, and they saw them, and he did his job. Jacob did what Jacob needed to do. He
Right.
won his reps. He did good on the drills, and just got the text message that they were going to throw them the offer. Had to wait a couple days until the head coach was available,
Right.
because the head coach was the one that was going to take care of it.
Right.
It wasn't going to come from the position coaches. It wasn't come from
Wanna be
nobody else. It
official,
was going to
right?
be official,
Yeah.
like a
Okay.
referee whistle. And so we were hanging out, had a little pool party, and I just told him, stay by your phone. Stay by your phone tomorrow.
Damn,
Tomorrow's
man.
Monday. Stay by your
Uh-huh.
phone. And Monday came, and he just texted me the next day and was like, hey, they threw me the offer. And
Wow.
then
Getting
literally like
goosebumps.
5 minutes later, I talked to my coach that's over there, and he was like, hey, we threw him the offer, this, and this, and we conversated. and he was like, "That is one of those kids that like, where has he been?" And
Mhm.
then I told him, and I told all the other colleges, like, dude, you think about that kid? Like, not to downplay, Jacob, but about 40 of them out here. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We have
and
a lot of
nobody
talented
Yeah,
athletes,
knows.
we do.
different positions. As far
Mhm.
as edge rushers and stuff like that, he might be the best one out
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
But, we have interior linemen, we have offensive linemen, we got quarterbacks, we got running
Mhm.
backs, we got a lot of certified steppers out here, a lot of good talent out here that a lot
Yeah.
of people don't know of.
Right.
And so that's kind of where this recruit Coachella Valley came into place. Was I saw the need for lineman training, and we created GOAT to help develop and build and get linemen and develop them and prepare them. And then this started because we
Looking to upgrade your home? Tile Designs by Fina is your one-stop destination for beautiful flooring, hard surfaces, and countertops. From timeless design, modern styles, they've got the perfect look for every room. Stop by today and transform your space with Tile Designs by Fina. Let's design together. Tired of payroll headaches? iPay Solutions is your local payroll and HR partner right here in the Coachella Valley. From direct deposits to compliance, we handle the details so you can focus on growing your business. iPay Solutions, local, reliable, and built for your success.
Got dirty carpets, tile, or furniture? Trust the Carpet and Tile Care Company, your family run experts. We bring sparkle back to your home with top notch cleaning services, reliable, affordable, and eco friendly. Call us today. We can be reached at carpetcarrot.co. Phone number 760-773-5882.
saw the need for recruiting. There's 4 or 5 kids you can think of in the last 4 years that have left and went
Mhm.
to big programs and are now playing, big Division 1 ball. But
Yeah.
they started here, but now
Right.
they're there.
Yeah.
And no respect, no disrespect, not knocking the hustle. You got to do what you got to do to provide, to put yourself in the best position possible for success. That's my motto. If
Right.
you ever noticed, like, that's what I say, it's what I do. And so to kind of help with that, recruit Coachella Valley is to create that direct pipeline from different
Mm,
colleges here, get those colleges down here, to watch and to evaluate our kids and to give the kids the looks that they need and that they deserve. There's
right.
a lot of certified steppers out here, man.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, I just took 10 kids from here to different colleges, and, like, shout out Tana at Weber State. Like, there's a lot of guys out there that love our kids, but they're like, I have no clue. Like, where were they? Who is this kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we're in an under recruited area, like,
Yes.
it's unfortunate because we're so far away, but, like, after they get to, to Beaumont, like, they're
They
like,
don't
oh,
want to
they're,
come to
It's
the
they're
too
done.
hot.
desert,
It's too
especially in the
hot.
summer,
Yeah,
man. It's too
because
Yeah.
it's
hot.
already they're already an hour removed from the IE from
Yeah.
from Orange
LA.
County, from LA.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So it's like, man, you telling me I got to drive another hour into
Yeah.
the desert?
Right.
Like, I will just stop here.
Right.
And then the only way is, like, we'd have to do camps otherwise. We'd have to leave the valley to go do camps. So then we figured, like, why not bring camps and showcases,
Yeah.
bring events here? Why not bring colleges here?
Mhm.
Why not bring everything here?
Right.
And then take away the excuse of, oh, it costs money to drive out, it costs money to this, get a hotel, get a flight. Charlie, homie, cut all that off. Let's put it here in your backyard.
Yeah.
Now, if you say you want it as bad as you say you do, you'll be there.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't love the game like you say you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
They're doing
Call it
their
how it
job,
is.
right? If they're doing their job as a recruiter, they're going to turn over every stone, right? So
Yeah.
we just got to provide the platform,
Mhm.
which you're doing. And you've mentioned a couple guys that had to leave the valley to go get those big. That guy from USC, he had to transfer high schools.
Yeah.
You're kind of trying to set the mold where they don't have to leave. They could just stay here and people know who they are, right?
I mean, I don't want to, like, sound crazy, but, like, we've proved that. We just proved it with Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob
It's
is
an
a
amazing
natural
story,
talent who's
man.
from here.
Yeah.
And, he had overcome a lot through injuries and whatnot, but he still got a Division 1 offer.
Yeah.
Didn't have
He's
to go to
still,
different high
he's still
school.
getting his money. He's still getting his opportunity to play on a Saturday at a college, and he didn't have to go anywhere. He stayed
Yeah.
right here at Xavier Prep,
Yeah.
and it's possible.
Yeah.
And we just proved it right now. And so the biggest thing to look forward to is with RCV is, like, we're gonna prove it many more times right now. Like, there's a lot of
We
kids
got guys out here.
on our radar
Yeah.
that we're gonna push, and we're gonna get them in the same situation. Now, obviously, it's up to the kid, it's up to the athlete to be prepared. Jacob was prepared for the situation. When the situation was placed before him, Jacob was ready.
Right.
Jacob had been training, Jacob had been working out, had been taking care of the things that needed to be taken care of in the classroom, on the field, out in the community. Like he'd been there, he'd been doing those
Yeah.
things. And so when the opportunity was placed before him, he was able to take care of it. And that's what ultimately helped him out. And so for the athletes that are listening and watching, this is your opportunity to be prepared, be ready.
Right.
Like we will only do so much. We can only do so much.
Right.
The rest of that falls on the shoulders of the athlete.
Yeah.
Get that work
You're gonna
done.
give them the playbook.
Yeah.
You're gonna give them the connections, the
I'll lead you to the
playbook.
water.
Yeah.
But you gotta
You
drink.
gotta
You know, that's what
drink.
they say,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That's what they say.
Right. That's I mean,
Love
you
that
can only
saying.
do so much, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it is their scholarship that they're trying to obtain.
Yeah.
So recruit CV, man. Where where are you going next with this? Because you've already kind of proven the concept with Van. I know you have other guys in the pipeline that are already kind of being spoken about
Talk
that
about
weren't.
Kevin.
Yeah, there's
Kevin
another
playing on
kid
Saturdays. Kevin
already,
gonna be
right?
playing on Sundays too. A
Really?
lot of people
Okay.
don't
So
understand this. There's a type of dog that's in here that you can't teach. He
Mhm.
has that. Jacob has that. It's not very often that you run into kids that you see that can flip the switch as
no.
easy as them two. Like Kevin, he'll be there. He's a little young right now, but as he develops and he grows into the game, he'll be he'll be a force to be reckoned with.
Right.
But no, we took a small opening tour to just let people know that we're up to something. We took them to UNLV and then down,
Okay.
and came back to San Diego State. But next year, recruiting season, we're going heavy with the Utah tour. A lot of connections within the colleges up there. So we're gonna fly in. We're gonna hit up Utah State. We're gonna hit up Weber. We're gonna hit up BYU, Utah, Utah Tech, Southern Utah University, and then hit that whole state and just hit up the colleges up there and take them through the gauntlet.
Right.
And
Yeah.
just like you have between now and then to be prepared. And like if you do the right things and you show me that you can do the right things, and I'll do my part and put you in front of people that are gonna take care of you. And then we're still working on the planning. This is still a planning thing, but we're working on either doing maybe like a Texas tour, a Southern tour, or doing a California tour
Okay.
and going up to Sac State, hitting Cal, hitting Stanford, and then hitting some of the smaller schools as well that is kind of up there by the Bay, San Mateo, the junior colleges, and then coming down and then hitting the three down here with USC, UCLA, and San Diego State. Yeah, I took a group also of middle school and high school kids to UCLA this last off season to go watch some of their practice and
Right.
take a tour of the facility. Shout out, Junior Jr. Appreciate you hooking that up, taking care of our boys. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff planned. We're just trying to decide what makes the most sense for as many kids as we are going to bring on.
Right. And it's good for the kids to get out of the valley and see the next level, right? Because I mean, you may be the big dog in a little pond down here, man, but you
Yeah.
go out over those hills and there's a lot more to contend with.
Yeah.
So I think just exposure overall is
Oh,
great for them too,
100%.
right?
And I think exposure is one of the biggest things, but I think also seeing a college facility, a
Mm,
program, puts a different motivation within your heart. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
shows you that it's possible. Like those kids are just like you.
Yeah.
Because when you go into the colleges, the locker rooms, they'll have the picture of the athlete and they'll have their nameplate and it'll say where they're from. And so, like a lot of these kids will see like, Orange, like Orange County, or they'll see like small towns. I'm like, where's that? And they'll look it up. I'm like, this kid came from a small town and now he's at USC or he's now at UCLA or Utah or whatever. And it's like they're coming from the same situations as you. The only difference is they outwork the guy next to them. And so like you can be there just as much as them, but you have to do what's required and then more.
right.
And if you're not willing to do the and more part, then that's the end of your journey.
That ain't for
When you
you.
walk the
Yeah.
stage at high school, that's the end. If you're
That's
not
it.
willing to do the and more part,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what the kids don't understand. That's a business up there, man.
yeah,
You
100%.
got it. Everybody got talent. You got to separate yourself mentally, work ethic, all that stuff, man.
100%.
But I'm really excited, man. I think your kind of service is definitely needed to
Yeah.
kind of if it fits the ethos of our show, because our show was just formed on me and him talking about how our kids out here ain't getting no love, and we got players out here,
We do.
man.
Oh,
So
We
we
play
want
good
to give,
football out
yeah,
here.
Yeah,
we've been playing good football
Yeah.
out here. We've had
yeah,
some legendary coaches come through here as well. So
100%.
it's just a matter of everybody over there just don't nobody knows about it.
Hmm.
So this, what you're doing, man, I'm so happy that somebody stepped up and did. Don't you wish
Yeah.
this guy was around weeks
Yeah,
ago?
yeah. I'm just thinking
He
that. I
could
was
have
just
got me.
thinking
He could
that.
have
I'm
got
like,
me a
man,
lot
what did I
better
do
offers
wrong?
than the ones I
Yeah.
got, man.
Yeah,
Jeez,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I didn't get nothing that
Yeah.
was any good.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a great
Definitely.
thing,
It's
That's
gonna
man.
grow and grow
that's
and
what
get
we're
bigger
coming
and
to,
bigger.
man.
So
We're just being an advocate for the athlete. That's what they need. That's what they deserve.
they do.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
athletes, if you think about it, high school athletes, we're not even gonna say football players because eventually the goal, this is insider information, but the
Okay,
goal is
Just
to
breaking
break it.
news right
Break it.
the
here.
goal is to create this program to be for all sports.
That's
Because
awesome,
like
man.
this is I don't know if this is selfish, but the main reason behind a lot of this was I have my own kids. So I
Mm,
want to create this platform and I want to create this avenue so when my kids are old enough to be in sports, like it's guaranteed I don't have to pay for college for them.
It's set
right.
Like
up.
this, I'm
It's
gonna set
set
all
up.
this up. I'm
Heck
laying the
yeah.
groundwork for you.
Heck
So by
yeah.
the time you're old enough to get into it, it's gonna take
Mhm.
care of you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the ultimate goal is to have this GOAT program oversee multiple sports. Let GOAT run the football program. Let somebody run the football program.
Right.
We're gonna eventually move into, well, we already started girls flag football with the
Mhm.
I'm Her League and
Okay.
like building I'm Her, building girls platform for
Right.
girls flag football. And then we'll get into volleyball. We'll get into things like that because we have a lot of athletes
We
in
Yeah.
do.
in all levels, in all sports. And somebody has to step up and give them the platform and give them the avenue to find success in
Absolutely.
college and let their college be free.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of scholarships out there. And a lot
Mhm.
of it gets left on the table, and a lot of it gets given to other kids. I'm not saying that are more deserving or less deserving, but we have a lot of athletes out here, and our biggest thing is misinformation or lack of information,
Yeah, they didn't have a
and
chance.
they don't have a chance if you
Yeah.
don't know those things. And
Yeah.
so, with Recruit Coachella Valley and with GOAT, our goal is to create that for all sports. Obviously, right now we're focusing on football because you have to learn to crawl before you
Yeah,
can
you gotta
walk,
build
Right.
before you
somewhere.
can sprint.
Right.
Yeah.
So right now we're crawling. Right now we're pouring concrete. We're building a foundation, a sure foundation, through football and through our brand and through our name. With real connections and real results.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
And
man.
so as time goes on, eventually we'll build to multiple sports to take care of multiple athletes.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's crazy. You just met Jacob like 2 months ago, and then
Yeah.
That's an
that's
amazing story, bro.
that's
Yeah.
Amazing. That when I heard that story, I was like, this guy's a
yeah.
musician, man. He's making magic out
There's
here,
there's a
man.
lot of there's other kids, but Jacobs was just, it hits closer to home because he I don't know how much he shared with you, and I don't know, I might have to talk to him before this airs, but he was feeling depressed and having feelings because other kids had offers that he felt he was better than.
Right.
I think other
And
people feel that
so,
way too.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so it was hard, and he was feeling discouraged. I'm like, why do I keep playing if nothing's happening?
Mhm.
And I was like, well, this is the thing, bro. You're talking to the wrong people.
Right.
Like you have what it takes, but just it's unfortunate you are where you are, and it's harder to get the views. It's hard. We talked about this off air before it started. It's all about views.
Yeah.
It's all about who you know. Like that's what it is.
Right.
It's the sad reality of the world now, but it's based off of views,
Yeah.
connections, and stuff like that. And so, with working with Jacob, like realizing who he is as a young man outside of a football player,
Right.
and like nobody deserves it more than him. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
his story, like his injuries, having to sit out, and like like you deserve it. Not only
Yeah.
on that, but just how hard you work.
Yeah.
This dude is working out, and then going to football, and then going to go stretch and do other things to take
Yeah.
care of his body, like 2-3 times a day
Mhm.
to make sure that he's ready for the game.
Right.
And like, dude, it's like, not a lot of people, not a lot of athletes do that.
Yeah.
And so it was my job and my responsibility to make sure that he gets what he deserves.
Yeah. It was almost like the universe aligned and saw him at the
At the
showcase.
showcase.
And that's another point to the other athletes out there. Go to these showcases,
Yes.
right? You got coaches like Coach
Yeah.
Gasu walking around looking for guys like that have been overlooked, underappreciated. And shout out to Coach Johnson, man, for throwing that
Yep.
showcase. I
Yep.
mean, we need more participation in that, and we need more of them. I think just in the valley in general
Yeah,
because
we're gonna.
there's a lot of guys out here that nobody knows about.
This is this is also insider. I don't know, like call it insider trading,
This is
but
it.
we're
Come
also
on,
gonna have
FCC.
another showcase. It's gonna be a RCV showcase,
Okay.
and it's just gonna be strictly linemen first. The first
Ah,
one's gonna be strictly linemen.
Let's do it.
okay.
It's just gonna be all offensive, defensive linemen. And I'm gonna bring some of the colleges down here. Junior college up to Division I colleges. I already put them on notice, let them know that it's happening,
Mhm.
and so we're just getting the date finalized, and then we'll come up with the flyers and the information. But
We'll look for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we have that coming. One of my, shout out to my partner, Michael Waters. He's out in Vegas,
Okay.
and so he's the one that kind of helped start this and put me on. He runs Phase 1 recruiting,
Okay.
which is a big recruiting event, and he's the one that ran the UNLV showcase
All right.
at
Okay.
the college.
Oh.
And so basically, he's the one that brought in those 40 coaches and those college coaches and did the whole camp. So basically, we're going to bring that whole style of camp
Down here.
colleges down here,
Awesome, man.
specifically for the linemen. And
That's gonna be
if
amazing.
it finds success, then we'll venture on to adding more positions. But obviously, we talked about it. My main focus is always going to be the hogs. It's always
Yeah.
going to be the trenches.
That's your
Guys up
specialty,
front,
man.
man.
That's
And
your
that's what I know.
specialty. Yeah.
It's hard
Your
for me
specialty.
to coach a position that I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? So can you imagine me out there teaching a wideout how to run a certain route and footwork?
I mean,
I'll teach that
you could
receiver how
do
to
it,
kick
but-
step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You got to block that
Right.
receiver
Gotta
too.
go, yeah, block a little
So
bit.
yeah, so that's I don't know. That's
Breaking
insider
news,
trading,
man. Well,
but
hey, when you
Hey,
it's
we'll look
coming.
out for it.
when
and
you
shout it
when
out.
you get those dates locked in, we're gonna be there, man. So you let us know.
Yeah.
We'll get it because we really do want to participate in community events like that, especially ones like the showcase. I mean,
Yeah.
your testament alone, man, is why
Yeah.
we do this out here, man.
For sure.
I know off air you kind of gave some game for kids on social media and how they should act if they do want to get recruited. Can you kind of share some of your philosophies on
No,
that
facts.
for that?
Social media is huge. It will make you or break you as an athlete. A lot of kids don't understand that, but colleges, when your name comes across their board, they have people on staff now that
Looking up
specifically
your social,
just go
right?
to social media.
Oh,
Like they get young interns who are at colleges and
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, I want to be involved in the football program. What do I got to do?" Here's a list. Go through their social media. Let me know what you find.
wow.
And so now they got young interns that just jump on social media, type your name in, look you up, and then they just take pictures and screenshot and print things out of what you post, what you do, and then they give it to the coach, and the coach makes the ultimate decision. Like,
Wow.
well, I really don't like this, and then like it goes back to the vending machine. You posted things that I don't like. Take your name off the recruiting board, and then they
Wow.
go to the next kid.
Jeez.
And so I'm telling you, like now that money is involved, it's a
Yeah.
business.
Right.
So they're now instead of searching for kids to recruit, now they're narrowing it down to what are you doing to stop me from recruiting you,
Mm.
compared to like us actively going to your high school. Because when we were in school,
Yeah, you
well,
had to go-
like they would come to your high schools
Yeah.
and they would recruit
There's
you.
always a big deal. There's a
Mhm.
there's a
There was
recruiter in the
there was a
stands.
coach,
Say,
yeah.
hey,
Exactly. A
coaches
recruiter
out
would go
there.
to the stands and they would go with their little clipboard and they would highlight your name and your number
mhm.
and they would watch you. And then they would go to another high school a second half and so on and so forth. Now there's too many athletes and too many schools to do that. So now they just sit at their home and they sit in their office and they find reasons to stop recruiting you
Jeez.
because the list is too big now.
Yeah, I get
So
it.
it's a lot easier to just be as a coach, be at home, go on X, look at profiles. I don't like the things this kid's doing. And they take his name off the list and then they go on to the next kid. And then they go to the office and they report. These are the kids we took off. These are the kids that we put on. And then that's your recruiting board. Then they start actively recruiting you. Then they look into your transcripts. Then they make the phone calls to your coaches about character witness and to see who you are. And then they make the contact to you directly as an athlete. So there's a lot of steps behind the scenes that the athletes
Yeah.
don't see
Yeah.
before the first contact. So that's why when kids think the coach haven't contacted me yet, but we met in person, and that means something you did or posted or liked or commented or shared on social media stopped it from happening.
So they should be posting workouts, some highlights,
100%.
some family
100%.
pics.
Yeah.
So you
Um,
want to prove to the coach that you belong on their team.
mhm,
So you have to sell yourself.
yep,
You think of it as a
you
business now.
do.
It is a
Yeah.
You
business,
are
man.
now your walking business card. You have to post workout pictures, workout videos that you're training, that you're getting developed, and that
Not
you're,
just one.
yep,
Yeah.
multiple, have to be consistent.
Yeah.
Then you can post family pictures that shows that you know that you love your family, you take care of your family,
Mhm.
and then football pictures, anything football related, anything work related. And so when the colleges see that, they know that you mean business. Now,
Yeah.
if you're over there posting pictures, I've had kids that post pictures of them with a gun or with other
Yeah.
things, and I'm like, bro, like,
Yeah.
Come on, man.
you must not want to play football
Yeah.
like you say
Yeah.
you do,
Nah.
because that's immediate takeoff from the
Yeah.
board. They don't
That's
even ask questions,
Yeah.
no matter how good you are.
no knucklehead
Yeah, no
stuff,
knucklehead
man.
activities.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, social media, it will make or break you, just if you use it the right way. And so that's one important thing. So free jam for our
There
kids
you
out there
go.
listening.
Yeah,
Clean up
free
your social
game,
media.
man.
Free game.
Free game right here, man.
Half our audience is deleting their.
Yeah.
delete. Go to
Yeah.
church, man. Take a
Yeah.
picture at church.
Do something.
Do something
Yeah.
wholesome. Do something nice for
A
your
lot of mom
community.
pics.
Yeah. One of the other things that colleges really love, this is kind of a hidden gem a lot of people don't talk about, is if you're out there in the community
Mm.
doing community service,
Yeah.
Yeah.
helping out,
Yeah.
working with the churches, working with
Mhm.
anybody. A lot of colleges love that because they're showing that, like, with your free time, that you're not working out, you're not doing this thing, you're not bettering your career, you're helping other people. And that's a good quality to have in a locker room.
Yeah.
That shows that you're going to be a great leader.
You're not selfish.
You're not selfish, exactly.
Yeah.
And so those are things that they like to see. Not mandatory,
No.
but it
But
definitely throws a couple points in your bag.
and when it's
Yeah.
You got
even
those
between
things,
you and
you know?
another guy.
If it-
Helps,
exactly. If
man.
it's between you or another guy, and I'd say, well, this guy does have a lot more qualities, service, he helps out a lot.
Community
Let's
guy.
let's take care
Yeah.
of this guy.
Man, that's a free game right here,
Yeah.
man. I'm
Hey,
telling you.
only on DV, man.
Yeah.
Only Desert
That's
Valley
right,
Blitz,
man.
man.
We're getting all the good stuff,
Come on
man.
now.
So anybody listening right now, for somebody like a parent maybe listening, what age should they kind of maybe start thinking about contacting you? How young do you think, like how young or old? What's your age
I
range
would
that you're kind of looking at
I
for
would say,
athletes?
if you think that your kid, this is the first step. First step is, as a parent, before you contact me, is talk to your kid, talk to your athlete about where do they see themselves in this game. If they want to play in the future, then feel free to reach out to me at any time, because I will obviously give advice to any age
Okay.
on things that you should and shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Because I came up in a time where where money can kind of be hard. I don't want parents wasting money on certain camps or certain events that are not going to benefit them or their kid in the long run. Obviously, if you just want to pay for the name to go do drills that you could do anywhere, like,
Mhm.
that's totally fine. That's up to you as a parent and as an athlete. But if you want, advice on where to spend your money on, what camps to go to that are going to make an impact on your life and in your future and in your journey, then
Yeah.
I will help you with that. And I have no problem doing that. It's the easy part.
It's valuable
Yeah.
information. I mean,
And then with that, like, I would say, going into middle school, 7th grade, that's kind of when you should start getting more serious.
Right.
That's when you should start hitting up these gyms and these private trainings and
yeah.
these private coaches to really perfect your craft. Now, a lot of people say, like, oh, it's a waste of money. That's this, and this. But, like, if you think about it, a team coach, you guys coach football.
Mm-hmm.
So if you coach, it's hard for you to stop practice to work on one kid mistakes. He does
Yeah.
a habitual mistake. He
Right.
can't get in a stance the right way. He can't this, he can't that. So it's hard for you as a coach to stop
Mm-hmm.
all of practice, because practice time is key. So you have to stop practice and have 20 other kids get restless because you're focusing on one
Yep.
kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then you
Mhm.
lose focus of practice. Then
Mhm.
you have to rile all the kids back in. But you can mitigate that. You can cut all that out, sending those kids to people like me, people, Category 5, or different programs that develop kids, and they have time.
That extra
You are the
time.
only
Yeah.
person that they're worried about for that hour. And they're
Mhm.
going to change you. They're going to develop you. They're going to build you. So then when you go back to your team, your coach doesn't have to worry about teaching you how to stand. Your coach can focus on scheme.
Yeah.
Because high school coaches and youth coaches, middle school coaches, they focus on the scheme,
There's a
the
lot
play.
to coach out there.
You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
lot to coach. They don't have time to coach development and
Right.
skill set. And so that's where developmental coaches come in. So that's if you're going to be serious, you're going to be seventh and eighth grade, you need to be in a development coach that whole time. No wasting time.
Working on the fundamentals.
Mhm.
Yeah, because high school's changed. Because my son recently enrolled in high school, and practices are not like I remember when I was coaching. We took the freshmen and we did fundamentals the whole first week. You know, like how to line up, how to get in a stance. They're like, hey, these kids are already ready to go, man. We're going into scheme. We're going into
Yeah.
X and O's.
Facts.
Yeah, and the implementations of plays. And it's like if you haven't done that, I was thinking, man, what if one of these kids comes out and never played before? It's like
He
you're
ain't
already
playing.
You're behind
behind,
the eight
man.
ball.
Yeah,
No,
You're
yeah,
already
facts.
way
yeah.
behind, man.
100%.
So it's changed, man. It's a totally different.
Arms race almost.
Yeah, it's
Skill
totally
wise.
different, man. It's totally different. So I mean, this is some good information for all you parents out there as well. You know, this is where it's going. We don't make the rules; we just
Yeah.
live by them, right?
That's
Yeah.
that's
You
the
know?
thing, and that's kind of where this RCV came in. Is just information. The lack of information is
Yeah.
what stops a lot of people from getting recruited. Like a lot of people don't know about high schools. Like you play varsity year as a freshman, you play in
Mhm.
varsity as a freshman. A lot of people still think that you can't do that,
Yeah.
and like the holdback thing, like that's affected now
Yeah,
by
that's
just the new changes in
yeah.
you
The
know
rules
and
just
yeah,
changed,
the rules just
so
changed.
now people are
And
reconsidering.
so having somebody who has a foot in both sides of the fence is very beneficial. Like we understand and we learn the new things from colleges, what they're looking for, and so on and so forth. And then we have the high schools and the youth programs. You know, we can come together and figure out where kids fit and how kids can get the right information from both sides. And like basically just having an advocate to help build and
Man, I'm so glad you're
everything.
here.
I was
Taking care
thinking
of
the
these.
same thing,
Yeah,
man.
we need
Thinking
someone
the same
to
thing,
do this.
man.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah. I mean, so you're the reason we wanted to talk to you is because you kind of fall into our same philosophy of, let's build this valley together because the
Yeah.
talent's here. It's
It
just
is.
little tweaks that we need to make to turn it into like a place where people can get scholarships and don't think they have to transfer. And
100%.
there's certain your service is going to be another stepping stone to that. So we're really excited. Where's the best place? So parents or players kind of listening to this,
Mhm.
thinking, okay, I'm the player's committed to doing this and they're serious about trying to get to that next level. How do they reach? Where's the best place to reach you
So
and get
the
information
two
from you?
best places obviously are the two pages on Instagram. Coach Gasu, Coach GASU on Instagram, and I also have the Recruit Coachella Valley. And if you DM me anything, just DM RCV, and I will know exactly what we're talking about. That means you want information on your recruiting journey. And then we had a lot of kids that reached out, and we just one on one. Give me your phone number. Let's talk.
Okay.
And I want to know where your head is on your recruiting journey, and where do you see yourself going. And then we have your evaluation. Like we got to see where you are. Like
Mhm.
physically, where are you? Stats wise, where do you fit in? And GPA, where do you fit in? Like we do a full thing. It's called a readiness test. Um, Basically, you give us all of your information, and we'll tell you where we think you fit. I haven't been wrong yet.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna. This
Yeah.
ain't wood,
Been
but
doing this
Yeah.
for a minute.
knock on
though.
something wood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, this is the thing. It's like we have a formula. It's a
Mhm.
very strict formula, and like I will do whatever I can to make sure you get where you want to go. But in return, you must do the things that I tell you in the order that I tell you.
Yeah.
And like I will do my part, but you have to do yours. And if you do one thing out of order, or out of step, or whatever, like it throws everything off.
Messes the whole recipe up.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
cooking.
It
It's
is.
You know what I'm
true.
saying? You want
Yeah.
the best cookies out there. You want good pancakes. You want good anything.
You gotta do
You
it
have
in
to
order.
follow the recipe,
Mhm.
and so they can be consistent.
Right.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can make a offshoot here and there, but like it's hard to replicate that.
Yeah.
And I want to replicate it. I
Over
want
and over,
multiple
yeah.
kids to come out of the Coachella Valley every year. I
Yeah.
don't want to just create one kid and that's it. I want more Jacobs every year. Like,
Awesome,
obviously, we
man.
had one kid right now in 2 months, but like next year, I want to have like 4 or 5. The next year, 4 or 5. Like every year, I want to produce a handful of athletes, and it's like baking cookies. So that recipe is the same. So
Yeah.
if you follow this recipe, this is your outcome. I'm not guarantee everybody to go to Fresno, go to whatever, but guarantee you play somewhere on
I'll
a
get you
Saturday.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere. You're gonna play
Yeah.
on a Saturday,
Yeah.
but
And that's
you
all
must
matters,
do
really.
this first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Coach Armstrong used to always say too, the legendary Coach Armstrong from La Quinta, he used to always say, if you want to play at the next level, there's a place for you. I don't
Yeah.
care what your skill level is. Like
Yeah.
we'll find you a place. And I think that's what you're kind of taking the
No,
role of now
facts.
is you're going to go out
100%.
there and find. And if your kid may not be an all league player, but he still wants to play, there's
And
places, right?
and that means he's getting an education.
Yeah.
If he's playing somewhere, so it's
Think
all
about
good.
it that way. That's key. I talk about that a lot.
Mhm.
Jobs. Football's only lasts so long.
It's a short.
You feel what
It's
I'm
a
saying?
short
Yeah.
career,
It's a
man.
short period of time
Yeah,
in your
short
life.
period of time.
So, like, let's let you go to college to get everything paid for free. And then while you're doing that, you can play the game that you love.
That you love.
Yeah.
And then if you're lucky enough and skilled enough and you take things serious enough, that 1% will go to the NFL.
Get
Yeah.
paid to
And you
do
can
it a
play on
little bit.
Sunday and
Yeah.
make that your full-time job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, until then, it's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do things by yourself. Think about driving somewhere. It's a lot harder to do without GPS.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we had to print out MapQuest.
MapQuest,
Remember
baby.
that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You had to like check it off with the pen when you hit that certain
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine doing them road trips
Yeah,
without
I
it.
remember, I
yeah, I
remember.
had to do it. I've been yelled at so many times by my dad for
Got lost.
It
I
said
fell
9
asleep.
miles and we're
Yeah.
turning right.
Mhm.
Exactly. And so think about life without that.
Yeah.
And that's
I love
kind of
that.
where we come into
Yeah.
play. It's
MapQuest
like,
to recruiting right
we're
here.
MapQuest to recruiting. So like if you want to
GPS
play,
right here, man.
we will get you there. But you must follow these exact instructions on the map, on the highlighted MapQuest.
You might get
in order
lost
to get there.
if you
Because
don't
if
do
you
it.
don't do them, you get lost.
That's
Yeah.
it, man.
You know what I
I
mean?
love that.
And so that's kind of where we come into play for the Valley.
Well, recruit Coachella Valley, man, is the new.
Check it
It's the
out.
new. Hey, you got to check it out. If anybody that thinks that they can play on that next level, Coach Gasu says, hey, seventh, eighth grade is about the time to start checking it out. Coach, you're doing a great job, man.
Yeah,
We
thank
love
you.
we love
Thank
you
you.
coming. You're a friend of the show. We're gonna have you back, and we're gonna tell some more stories.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
we
yeah.
No, you know
appreciate-
what?
We appreciate
Before
you,
we
man.
cut it off, man, shout out to you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the Valley needs the right media to portray and to show that we got the kids out here.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for you guys, talking about the kids and having a podcast and having interviews and showing the world and showing the other valleys, that we have athletes out here, they wouldn't know.
Right.
You guys understand the journey. You guys
Yeah.
understand how
We
hard
were
it is. You
there.
guys are from here. You guys,
Been there, done
you
that.
personally have kids out here.
You do.
Yeah.
And so you understand how hard it is. And so for you guys to build what you guys are building with Desert Valley Blitz to really, push kids through the media, like that's huge.
Just a
So,
small little part
shout
of this
out
community.
to you
Yeah.
guys
Hey, man,
too.
we
Thanks,
trying,
man.
man.
You know
We
what I
trying,
mean?
we trying to work with people like you and push this thing forward, man. But you're a blessing to the Valley, man. We appreciate you
Thank
coming in
you.
today. We're
Yeah.
gonna be bringing you back to highlight that showcase when you're ready to go on that
Yeah, for sure.
and get the word out there. But thanks for coming in, Coach.
Oh, for
Thanks,
sure.
man.
Automatic.
All right,
Yes,
guys,
sir.
you know the routine, man. If you found some value, which you should have in that episode, you know the routine, man. Like, subscribe, and follow. And we'll see you next time on Desert Valley Blitz.
Peace.